I live on a boat. Of all things, maybe it's time to look for an apartment. I don't know. This is 1939 Matthews cabin cruiser. It was actually used to belong to one of my clients till he got divorced, and he didn't have the time for it. He wanted to spend more time with his kids, so he didn't have time for the boat. And he didn't want somebody to cut it up, so he gave it to me. So I've been staying on this for 4 years now. I've been living aboard boats, one form or another, for 15 years. Usually 5:30, my alarm will go off. I'll get up about 6:15. After hitting snooze a few times, I get up, I brush my teeth, and I make a pot of tea to take with me for the day. I go over to Macmillan and talk with Dan for a little bit, and then I get to work. Usually 8 or 10 hours over at Macmillan. I'll leave Macmillan at about 5 or 6, and I'll go over to Coronet until, usually till about 10 o'clock. Perpendicular to the planking. So we're putting a little piece of tape on these so we know where to stop, so we don't go right through the frame. We're drilling the fastener hole through the planking into the frame. We noticed last week that there are several planks toward the bottom that never got enough fasteners. I think there was something about, maybe they didn't have the staging around and they were going to wait until they had better access, and they just never got back to it. There's a couple things on Coastal Queen we got to get back to, and it makes me think. Auger bit, but it's not a barefoot auger. See, it has the screw on the bottom here, and the screw just brings it through. It doesn't require much effort on my part other than keeping the drill stable. It brings itself through, but you see I have to back it off a little bit in reverse to get the screw out of the depth, and then I turn it back the original way so I can bring all the chips out with me. So there's no chips in the way when we put the trunnels in. What a trunnel is it's a long cylindrical piece of wood that's used as a nail, basically, to hold the planking onto the frames of the boat. The trunnels we're putting in are locust. Pretty indestructible locust. In fact, it burns like coal. It's wonderful. So with the trunnels, what we do is we take this trunnel. I think Mystic made most of these. They have a trunnel maker there. But we cut a slit in the end of it and put a wedge in it like this. That's wider than the slit. kind of set it there. So I'm going to dip it in antifreeze, which is ethylene glycol mostly. Ethylene glycol is an expanding agent. When it's dipped, when the wood is dipped into it, it'll expand, and it won't contract again like it would with water. Water would make the cells expand a little bit, and then eventually the water would either squeeze out or dry out. So that wedge in there will expand the end of it when it gets to the bottom. So now that end is so expanded that no matter what we do, we could not pull this out of here. So I'm cutting this so I can put another wedge on the outside here.
Chet's been able to hire two of our students, Keegan and Ophelia, to help in the evenings finish caulking the boat. So that's an experience that they would never have had the opportunity for. Not many people can say they've caulked a 133-foot schooner before they've even graduated from school or spent any time in the industry.
Yep. Just don't let it come around and hit you in the jaw. You're good. Close enough. You're going the wrong direction now.
I've been at IYRS, International Yacht Restoration School, for a year and a quarter now. Since Keegan got put on this project through Mystic, and we're friends, I hung out with him out here, and Chet needed a hand, and I was more than willing to give it out. Because it's an amazing project, and I want to be a part of it, and I want to learn through this scale too.
Or just go down to here, enough to grab the chips. Ophelia's great, and that she was so excited to come out and work on Coronet. I mean, to have them come over, be able to put this boat on their resume now, you know, and it says to, you know, younger girls that, you know what, you can work in the trades and still be a woman.
I've been working on the Coronet for probably about 3 weeks now, 4 weeks, after school most nights and the weekends too. So I kept bugging the shipyard director over at Mystic Seaport to be able to get on to the Coronet project here, and I told him I'll work whatever hours he needs and whenever, and I'm really into it just for the whole, just the restoration and having your hands in a piece of history.
To have my history in it, because I worked on it, and like this thing is so old, and to have like, all right, I was a part of putting it in the water so it could go get decked out the way it's supposed to be through Mystic. It's a cool opportunity I was given through Chet.
When I walked into IYRS and I went to go work on Coronet at 9 o'clock, and to see a couple people there working on their projects at 9 o'clock is like, it's refreshing. It's good to find a couple younger people like Keegan and Ophelia who are interested in the work, excited about the work, and don't mind staying late, you know, don't mind staying late and getting their hands dirty. I guess in a way, teaching with the younger people, it's almost like grooming. I want you to come up and be excited, as excited about this as I am, and come work for me. Finding people to work, to be on my team, has been a challenge. You know, everybody's, this is what they'll do in the interim till they find what they really want to do, you know, and I mean, they're good at it, and I'll use them while I can, but, you know, Max is going to be on a boat at some point. You know, spring is going to come along, and Sam is going to go back to chartering, You know, and Johnny's learning some stuff. You know, Johnny started out as a laborer. I mean, it's hard work, and you know, my hands are filled with scars. You know, I cut myself daily. You know, you know, we work with sharp tools. We work. You know, you get hurt. I mean, I was out of commission for months one time. I almost took these 2 fingers off. You know, just for a mistake. You know, and but the rewards for me, anyway. You know, I get to be part of history. You know, I get to preserve. Some of these boats are historic. You know, beyond boats like Dorade and Mayflower and Amistad. You know, I mean, some of these boats are really real icons. You know, for the historical value. You know that you know, and they bring with them a story. And I get to hear all these stories, you know, and you know, I moved here probably 17 years ago. You know, I gave up my community, my friends, my family, my wife, to move here and learn how to do boats, and you know, and I feel like it's the thing I was supposed to be doing all along.